My daughter called me while I was on base and said, "Dad, we're playing broken radio." That was our secret code for an intruder in the house. I was in the middle of equipment maintenance in the motor. I was checking equipment in the motor pool when my phone rang. Talia's name lit up my screen. I answered immediately, wondering why my 8-year-old was calling during school hours. "Dad, we're playing broken radio," she said quietly. My blood turned to ice. We'd created that code 2 years ago after a break-in scare in our neighborhood. It meant she was in danger but couldn't speak freely. "That sounds fun, sweetheart," I replied, keeping my voice artificially calm. "Is Mama playing too?" "Yeah, she's been checking the doors a lot and looking through the curtains." I stepped away from my unit, signaling to Sergeant Hayes that I needed a minute. My heart hammered against my ribs. "Are you at home? Shouldn't you be at school?" I asked. "Mama picked me up early. We're making lunch now. Turkey sandwiches." Sergeant Hayes noticed my expression and walked over. He mouthed, "Everything okay?" with concern on his face. "That's nice of her. Can you tell me more about this radio game?" I asked Talia while shaking my head at Hayes. "Mama keeps pretending to talk to stations, but the radio isn't even on," Talia whispered. "She asked me lots of questions about when you come home from work." I felt sick. Paige knew my schedule perfectly after 9 years of marriage. Monday through Friday, 0800 to 1700, with occasional weekend duties. "I'm going to come home early today," I told her. "Can you put Mama on the phone?" "She's in the bathroom right now," Talia said. "Dad, I'm sitting by the kitchen window. I can see Mama put suitcases in the car trunk earlier." Hayes was watching me intently now. I covered the microphone and whispered, "I need emergency dispatch." "What's happening?" he asked, already pulling out his phone. "Possible domestic situation. My wife might be planning to take my daughter." Hayes nodded grimly. "System shows minimum 2-hour delay for non-confirmed domestic emergencies. I'll see what I can do." I uncovered the microphone. "Talia, I'm coming home right now. Stay where you are, okay?" "Okay, but..." Her voice suddenly changed. "Oh, Mama wants the phone. Bye, Daddy." "Talia, wait." The line went dead. I immediately tried calling back. It rang once, then went to voicemail. I tried again with the same result. She was declining my calls. "Hayes, I need to see Commander Darius right now," I said, already moving toward the main building. "I'll keep trying emergency dispatch," Hayes called after me. "Go." I sprinted across the base, my mind racing through terrible possibilities. The landline at our house gave a busy signal when I tried it, deliberately left off the hook. Commander Darius looked up in surprise when I burst into his office without knocking. 20 years in the military had taught me proper protocol, but this wasn't the time. "Sir, I need emergency leave. My wife is attempting to leave with my daughter." Darius stood immediately. "Explain." "My daughter called using our emergency code. My wife is acting erratically, packing suitcases, asking about my schedule. She's blocking my calls now." "Go," he said without hesitation. "I'll approve the paperwork after. Do you need assistance?" "I need to get home. It's a 40-minute drive." "Take my vehicle," he said, tossing me his keys. "It's faster than yours. Keep me updated." I was already running before he finished speaking. My phone buzzed with a text from Hayes. "Emergency dispatch prioritizing your call. Officer en route to your address." I called my neighbor Owen as I peeled out of the parking lot. He lived 2 houses down and had a spare key. "Owen, it's me. I need you to check my house right now. Emergency situation." "On my way," he said without question. "What am I looking for?" "Just tell me if my wife and daughter are there. Don't approach if they are. Just watch and call me back." I broke every speed limit on the highway. The minutes stretched like hours as I waited for Owen to call back. When my phone finally rang 20 minutes later, his voice changed everything. "They're gone," he said. "House is empty. Door unlocked. Some drawers left open. What's happening?" I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. "Call the police if they're not already there. Tell them possible parental kidnapping in progress." The line went silent for a moment. "Jesus, I'll call them now." I pressed the accelerator harder, praying I wasn't too late. I tried calling Talia back immediately. It rang once, then went straight to voicemail. I tried again with the same result. Paige was declining my calls. The landline at our house gave a busy signal, left off the hook deliberately. I felt sick. I sprinted to the barracks where Reggie was on break. He took one look at my face and stood up. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Family emergency. I need your truck. Now." He tossed me his keys without question. "Take it. Call me later." I peeled out of the parking lot, breaking every speed limit between the base and home. My mind raced through terrible possibilities with each passing mile. I called Owen again. "Any update? Are the police there yet?" "No police yet. House is definitely empty. Some drawers left open in the bedroom. Looks like they left in a hurry." "Check if her car is gone," I said, swerving around a slow-moving truck. "Already checked. Her SUV isn't in the garage or driveway." I hung up and called police dispatch directly. The operator started with standard questions until I cut her off. "This is a potential parental kidnapping. My wife is attempting to flee with my daughter against court orders." That was a lie. We had no court orders, but it worked. "Officer Blake is en route to your residence now, sir. ETA 10 minutes. I called Owen back. "Police are coming. Can you wait there?" "Of course. What else can I check? Look for a note or anything unusual?" I was 20 minutes from home when Owen called again. His voice was tense. "There's something you should see. Talia's stuffed elephant is sitting on your bed with a note." The elephant was Talia's favorite. She never went anywhere without it. "What does the note say?" I asked, my throat tight. "It just says I'm sorry. This is better for everyone. That's all." I gripped the steering wheel harder. "Is anything else missing?" "All the photo albums are gone, and her jewelry box." I finally reached our neighborhood and screeched to a halt in front of our house. Owen was waiting on the porch with a police officer. The officer introduced himself as Blake. He looked young but professional. Sir, I understand you believe your wife has taken your daughter without permission? Yes. My daughter called using our emergency code. She said my wife was acting strange and packing suitcases. I pushed past them into the house. The silence hit me like a physical blow. Our bedroom was a disaster. Drawers pulled out, closet doors open. I checked the bathroom and found Paige's expensive makeup and toiletries gone. I went to my home office and checked our joint bank account on my computer. The balance showed $43 remaining from over $12,000 that was there yesterday. She cleaned out the accounts, I told Blake, who was taking notes. And our passports are missing from the safe. Blake radioed in the information. I'm putting out a bolo for your wife's vehicle. What's she driving? White Honda Pilot, 2019. License plate JRK2948. I moved to Talia's room next. Her backpack was gone, along with some clothes, but her favorite books remained on the shelf. Something felt off about the air vent in her room. I walked over and found it slightly ajar. Inside was a phone I'd never seen before. She had a burner phone, I told Blake, showing him the discovery. Blake put on gloves before taking it. Mind if I check it? I nodded and he scrolled through the messages. His expression darkened. There are texts between your wife and someone named D, talking about plans to leave. He showed me the screen. The messages went back 3 months. I'll need to take this as evidence, Blake said. We're treating this as a possible kidnapping situation now. Owen appeared in the doorway. I just remembered something. There's been an unfamiliar car parked down the street occasionally. Dark sedan, tinted windows. I started checking other hiding spots around the house. Behind the washing machine, I found a hotel receipt. 2 weeks at the Extended Stay America across town, paid in cash. She's been planning this for months, I said, handing the receipt to Blake. While I was deployed overseas. Blake's radio crackled. We've got highway patrol looking for the vehicle. Do you have recent photos of your wife and daughter? I pulled out my phone and showed him pictures from last weekend. Talia's gap-toothed smile made my chest ache. I'm going to find them, I promised. More to myself than anyone else. Owen put his hand on my shoulder. We'll find them. The whole neighborhood will help. Blake finished his initial report and looked at me seriously. Sir, we're taking this very seriously. But I need to ask, is there any reason your wife would feel threatened or unsafe at home? Absolutely not, I said firmly. We had normal marriage problems, but nothing that would justify this. One more question, Blake said. Does your wife have family or friends she might go to? I thought about it. Her parents are in Arizona, but she has a coworker she's been spending a lot of time with lately, someone named Devin. Blake wrote down the information. We'll check all possibilities. In the meantime, stay here in case she tries to contact you. I nodded, but inside I was already planning my next moves. I wouldn't just wait. I couldn't. My daughter needed me. The phone in my hand buzzed with a text from an unknown number. My heart stopped when I read it. Daddy, I'm scared. I dumped the contents of Paige's burner phone onto my laptop. The call logs showed dozens of calls to the same number over the past 3 months. I ran a reverse lookup. Devin Matthews, I muttered to Officer Blake. Paige's co-worker from the insurance office. Blake leaned over my shoulder. Let me see what I can find on him. I scrolled through the text messages while Blake made calls. My stomach turned with each new message. We'll be free soon. One message from Devin read. Just stick to the plan. Blake returned with a grim expression. Matthews has an interesting social media presence. Lots of posts about government surveillance and how to disappear completely. I pulled up Devin's profiles. His feed was filled with conspiracy theories about microchips in military personnel and government tracking through household appliances. He's paranoid, I said, and he's been filling Paige's head with this garbage. Blake's phone rang. He stepped away to answer it, then returned looking energized. We've got something. Matthews purchased 2 tickets to Venezuela yesterday. 1 adult, 1 child. They're scheduled to depart in 3 hours. Venezuela doesn't have an extradition treaty with the US, I said. Blake was already moving toward the door. I've alerted airport security. They'll flag them if they try to board. We raced to the airport in Blake's patrol car, sirens blaring. I kept trying Paige's phone, but it went straight to voicemail every time. A CPS officer named Karina will meet us there, Blake said as we sped down the highway. Standard procedure when a minor is involved. We reached the airport 40 minutes before the scheduled departure. Blake flashed his badge at security and got us through immediately. They've been detained at gate 37. A TSA agent told us. Woman and child matching your description attempted to board with suspicious documentation. My heart hammered as we hurried through the terminal. I spotted Talia first, sitting with a woman in a blazer who I assumed was Karina from CPS. Daddy, Talia cried when she saw me. She ran toward me and I caught her in my arms. Are you okay? I asked, checking her for any signs of distress. I was scared, she whispered. Devin said we had to practice radio games a lot. I looked up to see Paige sitting in an airport security office, her face pale and drawn. A security officer stood guard outside. Karina approached us. I'm Karina Wilson, Child Protective Services. I've been speaking with your daughter while waiting for you to arrive. What happens now? I asked, still holding Talia tightly. That depends on what we learn during the investigation. For now, I need to continue my assessment. Blake gestured toward the security office. Your wife is waiting to speak with us. I knelt down to Talia's level. I need to talk to Mommy for a minute. Can you stay with Miss Karina? Talia nodded, though she gripped my hand tightly before letting go. Inside the office, Paige wouldn't meet my eyes. She sat with her hands folded in her lap, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. Why? I asked simply. You don't understand, she said, her voice barely audible. Your work puts us in danger. They've been watching us. Who's been watching us, Paige? The government. Devin showed me proof. All those deployments, all those classified missions. They monitor families of military personnel. I felt a surge of anger. That's not true. Devin fed you paranoid conspiracy theories. He has evidence, she insisted. Documents, recordings. He works with people who know things. The door opened and a security officer entered. Sir, we've apprehended a man attempting to flee the terminal. Says his name is Devin Matthews. Blake stepped out to deal with the situation. I stayed with Paige. How long have you been planning this? I asked. 3 months, she admitted, since you came back from your last deployment. Devin said it was our only chance to disappear before they implanted tracking devices in Talia during her next doctor's visit. I stared at her in disbelief. And you believe that? Her eyes filled with tears. He had documentation, government seals. Everything looked real. The door opened again. Blake entered with Devin in handcuffs. Devin was younger than I expected, maybe early 30s, with wild eyes and a nervous twitch. Tell him, I demanded. Tell her the truth. Devin glared at me. You're one of them. You don't even know how deep it goes. Blake tightened his grip on Devin's arm. Save it for your statement. We found fake passports and over $50,000 cash in your luggage. Paige looked at Devin with dawning horror. You said we were just going on vacation until things calmed down. We were escaping, Devin shouted as Blake pulled him from the room. They're everywhere. After Devin was gone, Paige broke down completely. Her shoulders shook with sobs. I thought I was protecting her, she whispered. He showed me things, convinced me we were in danger. Karina entered with Talia. I've completed my initial assessment. Talia has confirmed she was not a willing participant in this departure. She believed it was a game at first. Talia looked at her mother with confusion. Devin said the radio game was practice for a real emergency. He said bad people might come for us. I held Talia close while Karina continued. Security found fake passports and large amounts of cash in the luggage. This appears to be a planned abduction orchestrated by Mr. Matthews. What happens now? Paige asked, her voice small. Mr. Matthews will face multiple charges, Blake said from the doorway. As for you, that depends on your cooperation and what the investigation reveals about your level of involvement. I looked at Paige, the woman I'd loved for 9 years, now a stranger, manipulated by paranoid delusions. I want to go home with Daddy, Talia said clearly, clinging to my hand. Karina nodded. For now, that seems appropriate. We'll need to conduct follow-up interviews, but initial evidence suggests Miss Paige was being manipulated. As we left the security office, I felt Talia's small hand in mine. She looked up at me with relief in her eyes. I knew you'd come when I said broken radio, she whispered. I knelt down and hugged her tightly. I'll always come when you need me, always. The airport buzzed with activity around us, but in that moment, it was just the two of us, safe, together. The rest, we would figure out one step at a time. Devin faced multiple felony charges. The DA charged him with attempted kidnapping, identity fraud, and conspiracy to commit international flight to avoid prosecution. His bail was set at over $200,000. I watched from the gallery during his arraignment. He still had that wild look in his eyes. Paige underwent a psychological evaluation the following week. The psychiatrist found clear signs of manipulation, trauma, and coercive control. She had genuinely believed our family was in danger. She exhibits patterns consistent with victims of extended psychological manipulation, Dr. Ramirez told me after the evaluation. Her judgment was severely compromised. I filed for temporary full custody while Paige began intensive therapy. The judge granted it immediately, after reviewing the airport incident report. Talia started weekly sessions with Caleb, a child therapist who specialized in trauma. He had 20 years of experience working with children in confusing family situations. She's processing this remarkably well, Caleb told me after their third session. Children are resilient when they have stability. I installed a new security system at home. Every door and window had sensors. All passwords were changed. I even switched our phone numbers. Sloan arrived from Colorado the day after the airport incident. My sister took one look at the situation and immediately requested leave from her job. I'm staying for as long as you need me, she said, unpacking her bags in the guest room. Talia needs familiar faces right now. Her presence made an immediate difference. Talia had always adored her aunt, and Sloane's calm energy helped establish a new routine. Owen organized a neighborhood support network. Families took turns dropping off meals and checking in. Their kindness overwhelmed me. We've got your backs, Owen said, delivering a lasagna from his wife. Just focus on Talia. After completing her initial 6-week therapy program, Paige began supervised visitation. The first meeting was awkward and tearful. Talia was hesitant, but ultimately ran to her mother's arms. I'm so sorry, baby, Paige whispered, holding Talia close. I made a terrible mistake. Karina from CPS observed the visit. She noted positive interactions and recommended continuing the supervised schedule. During their 5th therapy session, Caleb helped Talia create new emergency codes. She chose purple elephants as her new danger phrase. This one is just between us, she told me seriously, and Aunt Sloane knows it too. Paige and I began mediated counseling to discuss co-parenting. The therapist helped us establish clear boundaries and communication protocols. We need to rebuild trust slowly, the therapist advised, for Talia's sake. Commander Darius called me into his office upon my return to duty. He handed me an official commendation for exemplary conduct during a family crisis. You handled an impossible situation with professionalism, he said. The military takes care of its own. Sergeant Hayes stopped by our house with his family. They brought Talia a stuffed elephant to replace the one left behind during the escape attempt. Military families stick together, Hayes told me as our kids played in the backyard. Whatever you need, just ask. Devin's trial was set for early next year. The prosecutor had mountains of evidence from his apartment, maps, fake documents, and detailed plans for disappearing with Paige and Talia. He'll be going away for a long time, Blake informed me during a follow-up visit. The identity fraud charges alone carry substantial prison time. Karina continued monthly home visits. Her reports consistently noted positive adjustment and a stable environment. You're doing everything right, she assured me during her third visit. Talia is thriving despite the circumstances. Paige's therapist diagnosed her with situational anxiety disorder exacerbated by manipulation. The treatment plan included medication and twice-weekly therapy sessions. Devin targeted her vulnerabilities. The therapist explained during a joint session. He systematically isolated her from reality. 2 months after the airport incident, Talia slept through the night without nightmares for the first time. I sat beside her bed watching her peaceful face and finally allowed myself to cry. Sloane found me there an hour later. She didn't say anything, just sat beside me and held my hand. She's going to be okay, Sloane finally whispered. You both are. The court scheduled a hearing to revisit our custody arrangement. Paige's therapist submitted a detailed report on her progress and treatment compliance. I don't want to take Talia from you, Paige told me the night before the hearing. I just want to be part of her life again. I believed her. The manipulation that had driven her to such desperate measures wasn't entirely her fault. We'll figure out what's best for Talia, I promised. That's all that matters now. The judge approved a gradual transition to unsupervised visits, contingent on Paige's continued therapy. Talia would remain living primarily with me for the next year. Caleb suggested family therapy sessions with all three of us. The first one was tense, but productive. Talia needs to see you working together, he explained. It helps her feel secure. Paige moved into a small apartment 10 minutes from our house. She decorated Talia's room there with space-themed wallpaper and glow-in-the-dark stars. I want her to feel at home in both places, Paige said during a drop-off, even if it's just for visits. 6 months after the incident, we celebrated Talia's 9th birthday together. Paige and I managed to coordinate the party without any major issues. Talia blew out her candles and announced her wish out loud, breaking birthday tradition. I wished for my family to be happy, she said, looking between Paige and me. All of us. That night, after everyone had gone home and Talia was asleep surrounded by new presents, I sat on the porch with Paige. We talked honestly for the first time in months. I'm sorry I believed him over you, she said quietly. He made everything sound so convincing. I'm sorry I didn't notice something was wrong sooner, I replied. We weren't back together. That bridge had burned completely, but we were finding a new way forward for Talia's sake. The healing process was slow and sometimes painful. There were setbacks and difficult conversations, but watching Talia regain her confidence and security made every challenge worthwhile. Do we still need the broken radio code? Talia asked me one evening as I tucked her in. We can have codes if they make you feel safer, I told her, but you can always just tell me directly if something's wrong. She nodded thoughtfully. I think I like purple elephants better anyway. I kissed her forehead and turned out the light. Our family had been fundamentally changed, but we were finding a new normal, one day at a time.